Hi everyone, I'm Basudha, co-founder of Mfly and CEO of Mfly again. So it's my honor to have two exceptional individuals who have made significant stride in their respective fields. Please join me in welcoming Amarpreet Singh and Anu Soni to this insightful interview. Amarpreet Singh brings with him an impressive track record of over 20 years, marked by his ability to drive profitability through exceptional leadership and team building skills. His journey has encompassed diverse roles, each delving into intricate details and culminating in the creation of multiple successful businesses from the ground up. His areas of expertise span across operations, processes, technology, supply, technology, and supply chain across wide spectrum, including scaling startup, navigating the realm of retail, e-commerce, real estate, and beyond. Amarpreet Singh is a Six Sigma black belt, holds his MBA from MDI Gurgaon, and has left an indelible mark in companies like Axo Nobel, Walmart, and 1MG. His journey has now led him to the position of co-founder of Wises Construction, while also pioneering ventures like Cashware and Slaypay. We are equally privileged to have Anu Soni with us, the driving force behind Wises Construction, fondly known as Chabi. A qualified marketing professional, Anu Soni, close to break barriers in a traditionally male dominated industry, that is construction. She stands as a backbone of the company, a testament to her unwavering dedication and shared greed. Anu pursued her graduation at Christ College and master from MICA, which stands for Mudra Institute of Communication and Technology, establishing a strong foundation for her journey. She has powerful charisma and personality to manage manpower and contractors in this unorganized sector. A warm and heartfelt welcome to both of you, Amarpreet Singh and Anu Soni. Your journey and accomplishment are truly inspiring, and we are excited to delve into your experiences, insights, and perspective during this interview. So, and one thing I would like to add,
Thank you.
and
Thank
I
you,
would like to
Basudha.
tell to the audience. Yeah, thank you for for giving your time to us. And today is their birthday also. So both Amar and Anu, a very happy birthday from the
Thank you.
entire our company and everybody who's associated with you. So, so before jumping into, do you have anything to add? Because I have a lot of questions for you to ask. I would like to deep dive into constructions industry and would like to know a lot of things that is popping up in my mind.
First of all, Vasudha, thank you so much for such a good introduction. I was first trying to find out where is Amarpreet Singh. Right, I'm Amar. No, of course Amarpreet Singh, but I'm more known as Amar, right? I
Okay,
also
okay.
I also don't know Amarpreet Singh that well.
Amar. Okay. You're
Right,
famously known as Amar.
Amar.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for your time getting us here, etc. Right? Yeah, no, you want to add something?
No, I never knew that the hard work and whatever we have done would land us somewhere that we someone would interview me. I've always been very silent and doing focused about my work. So thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
just hope that we are able to address the questions and the queries that. Uh,
Great, great. Thank you so much. And the first question is to both of you, Amar and Anu. Can you tell us about your journey as a founder? Because you both have founded, companies and they're doing pretty well. So, as a founder, how you establish your construction company? Because it's a very, very unorganized sector. Everybody know. So, tell me about your journey as a founder.
so
Starting with Anu, yeah.
Okay, so I just want to say that construction industry is really big. What we do is design and build. It's a turnkey company, which is the smallest in the ocean. It's like construction is an ocean, so
Yeah.
we are doing a bit there. So we started a company. We thought when me and my husband Abhishek Soni, who is an architect, he has 22 years of experience, worked with Walmart and Snapdeal and Flipkart. And after that, we both thought that let's do something in this industry, in turnkey company, because while we were working with all the, we were in our company and we were working with various vendors and clients, we realized that it's not a very, as you mentioned, it's not an organized sector. Okay, although these contractors and design and build companies were working with Walmart also, and Snapdeal and Flipkart and many other big names, but their approach was still very, very, मतलब गांव वाला type का था, मतलब not many professional companies were there. So we thought, let's get into it. And we start writing on, we used to come back from our work, and we never discussed in our home because that's not a place to discuss all these things. We used to sit in a cafe like partners, and we used to discuss, write it on tissue paper, on anything that come our way, that to what it is all about, what we really want to cater to. Okay, we have to identify that particular problem and try to solve and try to build an ecosystem around it. And that's how, when we started approaching our own circle, because that's where we are coming from, our own industry, our friends and everyone who are sitting there. When we started approaching these companies, you won't believe it, that the 22 years of experience became zero at that point of time. They said, "Aapne kya kiya
Oh God.
hai?" Like, I'm being very honest here, because
Uh-huh.
to do a job, to
Hmm.
be at a certain level, like, when he also left the job, he was vice president in a company, managed vice president of projects in a company. And when I also left, I was also at a certain position. So people said that doing a job and being an entrepreneur and establishing your own company is very different.
Very different.
And at that point of time, उनकी बातें मुझे बहुत चुभी थी, but today I think it is different. And the very first quality is the ownership.
Right. Right.
As so in 2018, when we still, we went ahead. We thought that nahi, kuch to karna hai. And at that point of time, we realized that there's a lot that is happening in tier 2, tier 3 cities. And
Hmm.
Delhi mein reh ke, agar if we try to establish our turnkey company, is not going to help us, because there are sharks sitting, right?
Hmm.
Nobody is
Right.
going to see a small fish like us. So we went to companies and we said, "Are you going towards that area, to tier 2, tier 3 cities? We want to, we will work there. Give us work, we will work there." It's like that desperate thing. And I remember the first brand that trusted us was Sapphire Foods. They have KFC, Pizza Hut under them. And we got first KFC in Rajpura. I
Rajpura.
actually so I asked my husband, "Hey, Rajpura kidhar hai yaar?" So, in 2018, starting in Rajpura, we both, we went to the site, we saw things, lack of supply chain. There's the brands that these companies want. We didn't have them there at near vicinity. Finding the right kind of labor, finding the right kind of vendor, it was one Herculean task at that point of time, and we both were standing there. We did not have any employee. हम दोनों अपनी कंपनी के खुद ही एम्प्लॉय थे, खुद ही मालिक थे, खुद ही सब कुछ थे. ठीक है, didn't have drivers, कोई भी नहीं था. And we were standing at 10 o'clock at the site, looking at the site, looking everything. There was nothing, for almost 10-20 kilometers तक कुछ भी नहीं था वहाँ पे, because there was this one mall that was coming up, and in that there was this KFC that was there.
Wow.
It and to start, then we start the reiki of the site, then we did the market search, going from one market to the other, talking to the vendor, talking about the payment cycle, because we just had 10 lakhs at that point of time. And that was the entire savings. Kuch bhi nahi tha. So
So inspiring. I mean, starting with 10, small bucks, I would say, in a company or that you're right now holding. That's
so
incredible.
when we thought that, बहुत बार ऐसा लगता था कि यार कहीं कुछ गलत फैसला तो नहीं ले लिया, बिकॉज बोल तो दिया उस टाइम पे कि टियर 2 टियर 3 करेंगे, बट it's not that well connected, and we don't have, we
Yeah.
lack that infrastructure, right? So
Uh,
जहाँ पे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर ही नहीं है, आप उस साइड पे जाके आप काम शुरू कर रहे हो, it is really difficult. And especially a woman standing in that market, it again becomes very difficult, because my background is of procurement. I've been a buyer, so standing there doing the work and everything. But then it just happened, like, with support, with everything, one
it
after
says
the
that
other, the other.
it's a roller coaster ride, so you have to
Yeah,
keep
it,
on
it
taking
was it was one hell of a roller coaster ride with. And working with brands, you need to have speed. वो ये थोड़ी ना
Yeah.
देखेंगे कि you have been starting for the first time, so they will not give you that kind of concession कि ठीक है कोई बात नहीं, पहली साइड थी, ऐसा नहीं. It's not like that. That was the thing for us. अगर अभी नहीं किया तो कभी भी नहीं किया. अभी डर गए, अभी हार गए, तो बस छूट गया सब कुछ. We did not give up, our jobs, our high flying jobs, and collected whatever we have, not for saying that we can't do this. We have to. Matlab, there was no option, right?
Right.
So वो करना. And then we still approached, many brands. फिर हमारे पास जब KFC आ गया तो थोड़ा कॉन्फिडेंस ऊपर हो गया कि ठीक है यार, अब कुछ कर सकते हैं. Then we went another, एक और ब्रांड के पास चले गए. And we laugh, we still laugh that हम लोगों को मिला था drain channels बनाने के लिए. That was licious, if you have heard the name, the chickens, licious chickens, right?
Hmm.
So we got that thing. और drain channels जैसे हिंदी में बोलते हैं नालियां लगाना, नाली बनानी है बाहर, वो वाला
हाँ.
काम था. It was not even 5 lakhs rupees cost, वो जो बनाना था हमें. But we did not say no. We said हम बनाएंगे. ठीक है,
Hmm.
we did that. And you won't believe it, except for one plant of Licious that they have designed and executed. The rest, all the plants that are there in our country, we have designed and executed. And after that, we did. So we actually established our name in the organized meat sector. So
Oh.
after Licious, we did Captain Fresh, Tender Cut, Top Chop. So we went south, towards south, the complete south, Mangalore,
Hmm.
and Kochi, and all that places. So tier 2, tier 3 cities of south also, tier 2, tier 3 cities of north also. We covered all. So that's how
Wow.
the entire journey is.
That's really great. Interesting. And how Amar's joined you? I mean, Amar, your point of view.
Yeah, so I have done my fintech startup before that, and before that, I did my consulting startup. So I was doing really well. I was the youngest general manager in Walmart India, heading supply chain, and everything was good. And then you suddenly feel proud that okay, you can do your own business, and all your peers, they say okay, if Amar does a startup, he's going to do wonderful this that, and you suddenly land up into startups, and then you realize it's entirely a different ball game. What she said about construction industry is not untrue for any other industry. Me, my batchmate itself from MDI, my other friends, etc. When I am sitting as a fintech and sitting with them, and they are in this banking position and saying, I want to tie up to get a co-branded partnership card. They're like, okay, but this, that, etc. Right? So suddenly the same positions and everything, your positions as whatever you did in career no longer matter. What she said is exactly the truth, right? It's just that you need to be persistent. You need to continue to live that dream day in day out to get that small break, and then you need to excel doing that. Okay, you have done this, and that's how you get one after the another. So it's like you need to continue till the time you get to the path.
Absolutely. And it happens like when you open up your startup, the people who trusted you more are not around you. Like, let them first, you know, do their experiment with 5 or 6 people or a company, then we will jump in. And is that happened to you?
No, you cannot sail in two boats. You
Uh-huh.
cannot. You have to trust yourself. मतलब मैं ये कहूँ कि मैं जॉब भी कर रही हूँ और साथ साथ में मैं ये करके देखती हूँ, अगर ये हो जाएगा तो ठीक है, नहीं तो नहीं. जब आप किसी चीज को बहुत पैशनेटली चाहते हैं ना, तब आपके दिमाग में बैकअप प्लान नहीं होना चाहिए. यू
Hmm.
हैव टू डू.
But what you said was, I think the people you
अरे
trusted.
अम्मा, तो वो लोग तो देखो, उस टाइम चढ़ाने वाले बहुत लोग होते हैं आपको, क्योंकि आप एक सर्टेन पोजीशन पे काम कर रहे हो ना.
So more than
Uh-huh.
I will say, my team members who had worked in my team were ready at any point of time. He said, if you are doing something,
Oh,
leave any brand, whatever brand you are working with, even if you need to take salary cuts, anything, any point of time, we want to join you, we'll join you. So
oh
more than
wow.
anything
You're
else, I think the team are very, very supportive,
Hmm.
and they have made some career choices, sometimes wrong choices, because some things
uh,
don't work out. But then we all are as a family, and then help each other to get up.
That's great. That's great. Now I have another question for Anu. Your company has worked with announced brand, as you said, like KFC, Burger King, Starbucks, and Pizza Hut. I mean, I know there would be a lot more. What challenges did you face while working on such high-profile projects, and how did you overcome them?
So, we realize that all these brands, they're looking for that professional help, somewhere, who can take care of their entire project right from design to execution. And if design is done by some other company, then at least the execution process is taken in such a way that they don't have to sit and solve the queries between the architect and the execution team. Someone should
Right.
be equipped enough to handle that project completely, right? So when we get a site, it's a bare shell, it's raw walls, nothing, no paint, only plaster is done, और आप अचानक उसको एक सुंदर कैफे, रेस्टोरेंट, वेयरहाउस, कुछ भी बना के दे सकते हो, right? So that's there. The one thing that I always say is that strong communication. One is the internal communication with your team. The brand is bringing, the brand has certain value in the market. It has certain kind of expectations in the market that it wants to give it to the target audience. So we have to achieve that kind of value, that kind of thing, and give it back, right? So हमें ये समझना है. Second is the brands are establishing in a mall where their period of executing is very less, because इनका rent free period चल रहा होता है, so they have to do it in 2 months, maybe 2.5 months. So we have to turn around the entire project in in 45 days. So the speed is another, is a key element in turnkey, right? So we have to have that speed in place. Then about compliances, they are not any company, that अगर आप चप्पल पहन के आ जाओगे तो चलेगा, सेफ्टी नहीं फॉलो करोगे चलेगा, your paperworks are not there चलेगा. I need to have a license in place, I need to have my labor laws, labor licenses in place. So the compliance needs to be there, it all has to be documented, everything has to be there. You have to follow the safety rules, the PPE kits and everything. So before, when we start a site, before my labors reach, the PPE kits reach there, so that they have their helmet, they have their harnesses, they have their safety shoes in place, and they are working. We ourselves, as directors of the company, we make sure that we have that practice, that when we visit the site, we have our helmets, because leaders lead by example. अगर मैं ही high heels पहन के जा रही हूँ तो कोई नहीं seriously लेगा.
Absolutely makes
So
sense.
that is there. Then other thing is, your client is your uh, is the thing. Sometimes what we think is कि हमारी प्रोग्रेस हो रही है, ठीक है, हमें कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ा, हमारे मार्जिन प्लेस में हमें कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा. But that's not the way to deal with. If your client is progressing, you are progressing. If my client is doing turnaround in 45 days and has number of stores, only then I'm getting a repeated business. मुझे एक बार तो एक स्टोर करके थोड़ी ना छोड़ना है, right? I want to make sure that with that progress, I match my speed, I match the quality, I match everything. Then it comes to the quality. Quality is what the client want. Quality is not something that you want.
Absolutely,
Okay.
yeah.
So
That's really an important point.
yeah, so you have to give that quality, you have to give that value of money to the client. I cannot make my client fool. मैं हर टाइम बिजनेस में, कई लोग क्या सोचते हैं, आपने अपना मार्जिन कमा लिया, हमें बाकी फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. ये अप्रोच किसी भी बिजनेस में ठीक नहीं है, किसी भी बिजनेस में ठीक नहीं है. अगर आपको ऐसा लगता है दैट सर्टेन कॉस्ट दैट द क्लाइंट इज पेइंग, एंड यू कैन नॉट गिव दैट वैल्यू, अगर आप वो ऑथेंटिक नहीं है, ऑनेस्ट नहीं है अपनी अप्रोच में, वो क्लाइंट आज बेवकूफ बन सकता है, कल नहीं बनेगा.
Absolutely.
कोई ना कोई तो आएगा ही ना आपको रिप्लेस करने के लिए. So if you have to be irreplaceable, you need to have your value system in place. So strong and honest internal as well as external communication, speed, value that your client, quality that your clients want, not you, right? Measurements, all your documentation, all your compliances that needs to be in place, and regular cash flow. That's the toughest part in our industry, because हम लोग करके चले जाते हैं, the client start making business, but हमारी payments बहुत धीरे धीरे आती है, staggered में आती है. You have to be keep at it, be very polite, be gentle, but push करो उस client को, आप हमारी payments please, document अपना documents पूरे ready होने चाहिए so that the clients can make the payment. And to be in the regular business, you these staggered payments आ रही है ना, just keep have patience and तो ये करना पड़ता है, persistent approach towards establishing yourself.
A lot of points, I think, for our viewers. I mean, I think this is not only for construction, but I guess for every industry that you're working in, the values, the point, like translating your client brand's value. Then you talk about safety element, compliances, your own ethics while going to the office, to the workplace, or to the construction site. I mean, these all things are so. I'm really liking,
I,
a lot of.
I just want to give one example, I think, which Amar also knows about it, and he was, he also told us that एक बार सोच लो ये करने से पहले. But there were three big, plants that were coming simultaneously from two different brands, and we had to start. ओडीज वर देयर, बैंक्स वर देयर, पर फिर भी हम लोगों का ना फंड्स का आ रहा था, और हम बार बार अपने क्लाइंट्स को रिक्वेस्ट ही कर सकते थे कि प्लीज आप ना हमें टाइम पे दे दो पेमेंट्स एंड ऑल, बट आई कैन नॉट वेट फॉर द पेमेंट्स एंड आई हैड टू स्टार्ट माय एग्जीक्यूशन ऑल्सो. वी सोल्ड आवर हाउस. That the only property we ever made it. We took the decision of selling it because we had to be there.
Don't tell me.
Yeah, we did it. कि करना तो है, कोई बात नहीं, घर वापस बन जाएगा. We did it. अगर नहीं करते तो शायद यहाँ ना पहुँचते. In 4 years, having we worked with so many brands of our country. Um, you name it, and we are there. All with all repeated business. We have a pool of 500 vendors all over India. We don't stop ourselves to Delhi, right? आप हमें कहीं पे भी हिंदुस्तान के किसी कोने में जाके काम करने को बोल दो, we are there. We have a strong supply chain, right? Today the banks are standing with us, and so because of some tough decisions that we made, and today we are here. So it's not easy.
It's truly inspiring. I mean, these would have never come up unless आपने अपने मुंह से नहीं बताया. I mean, like solding house and so much committed to work. You're doing everything that a very good businessman needs to do. Like, I must tell you, and you're an ethical business woman. No, I'm very inspired by you. So I have another question for you only. What specific factor do you consider when selecting a project or a client to work with? I know there are a lot of client would come to you saying कि you should do their work, but sometimes you have to prioritize कि किसके साथ काम करना है. Now you are in that position. I think startup जब when you are first 6 month or 1 year, everybody जो भी आया लो हाँ करेंगे. But after reaching certain level, you become sometimes choosy. So is it happens to you, like you select project based on certain factors, and how do you ensure that the project align with your company value and expertise? So I think this second answer you have already clear, given in your first question. So I would like to take I would like you to take the first question, like what specific factor do you consider while selecting a projects and the clients to work with?
यार पता नहीं इतने बड़े हुए हैं कि हम कभी किसी प्रोजेक्ट को, किसी क्लाइंट को सिलेक्ट कर सकते हैं या नहीं. मतलब हमारे लिए जो प्रोजेक्ट है, whether it is value 5 lakhs or 5 CR, so the commitment level is same for everyone, because you never know when that 5 lakh worth ka project and that client becomes a 50 CR for you. You never know. As I believe that a client progress is your progress, right? So we can never be choosy here. You know, or हाँ, but yes, when we look at the financials of any project, yes, we always weigh the preposition that kya, are we able to cover up our overheads, our cost or something. And at times what happens that we go up with these proper financial things to our client, that if you want a certain project to be delivered, the quality is one thing that we talk about, right? So to have that quality in place, this is the cost that we think we can bear, right? Even if I crunch my margins, that ठीक है मैं आपसे इतना margin नहीं कमाती जो शायद मैं किसी और project से कर सकती हूँ, but this, at least my overheads and my company salary, my people's salary should come out, right? So this is the thing, and the quality that you'll want. This is, so if the client, and I tell you, most of the clients, if you go with facts, na, koi pagal nahi hai. They will understand, right? So if we go with facts to them, and they'll understand, and most of the times the clients, they are aligned with us कि ठीक है, you know, until unless कि उनका खुद का भी वो budget नहीं है तो वो क्या कर सकते हैं? So then we say
Absolutely right.
ठीक है आप
Uh,
करिए, and it has happened, twice and thrice they'll come up that no, the work that you are going, you've given a quote for this, we have got a better quote, like you may please go, because we know
mm,
that the kind of competitive price we have in our in the market. I am
mm,
dead sure that you'll come back, right? And you will find us standing strong with you. And it has happened. People have left us because they thought that वो करेंगे, बट हमें पता है ना कि जो हम प्राइस दे रहे हैं उसमें कोई मैच नहीं कर पाएगा, उसको वो क्वालिटी नहीं कर पाएगा। और
mm.
सेकंड, हम लोग कई बार ऐसे प्रोजेक्ट्स चुनते हैं, क्लाइंट्स ना जो क्वालिटी डिमांड करते हैं ना, हम वही करते हैं, बिकॉज इफ आई हैव टू शो माई वर्क टू समवन, I will take that person to that kind of a cafe or a restaurant or a warehouse or a biochemical plant. If I have not if I have not delivered quality, that person is not going to choose me.
Yeah, yeah,
So
absolutely.
for me, the brand that talks quality is something that I want to work with. मेरा काम वहीं दिखेगा, कोई ये थोड़ी ना कहेगा कि उस क्लाइंट को क्वालिटी नहीं चाहिए तो तुम क्या कर रहे हो। आई डोंट,
Right.
सो वी
Mm,
हैव एट टाइम्स चूज सर्टेन ब्रांड्स ऑन बेस्ड, और कई बार तो हम खुद ब्रांड्स को सिखाते हैं कि ऐसे नहीं
mm.
है, इस चीज को ऐसे किया जा सकता है। यू नो
Right.
we have actually shown that comparison, that let's in choosing
Mm.
a better material, better workmanship, हमने ये करा है with many of the brands, so it has turned out to be good for us. So ऐसा चूज कुछ भी
Perfect.
नहीं है, but ठीक है।
So
Basically,
with
we are
your
bootstrap
yeah,
company and not a funded company. So for us, the economics is makes
right,
very important. So in case it's not making economic sense, yes, we might have to say no to that.
But it has happened very less. We
very
make sure
less.
that we have that client.
Perfect. So, with your experience in the construction industry, what the key advice would you like to give it to the young or aspiring entrepreneurs, who are looking to start their business, maybe in the same sector or different? I know there are a lot more things
um,
that they would.
ये ऐसा कुछ नहीं है यार, बहुत लोग इंटेलिजेंट लोग हैं हमारे आसपास, ऐसा इतना कोई वो नहीं है, बट it to be an entrepreneur, leave alone a construction industry or a turnkey industry, to be an entrepreneur, um, a, no work is small,
Hmm.
okay? B, कंपनी के वैल्यू सिस्टम को अगर सेट नहीं किया है कोई बात नहीं, अपना वैल्यू सिस्टम होना चाहिए टू वर्क with, because if your values are right, then only you the team will be there, राइट? आप अपने टीम का वैल्यू सिस्टम बना सकते हैं, उसी से फिर आपके कंपनी का वैल्यू सिस्टम बनेगा। हम विजन तो बना लेते हैं कंपनी का, वैल्यूज राइट नहीं कर पाते, एंड द entire ecosystem and the ethos of your company stands on that value, and the value has to be very simple,
Hmm.
बहुत सिंपल है ना। मैं बताना चाहूंगी, so I've been attending many vendors meeting, client meetings and vendor meetings. तो उसमें ना सफायर फूड्स की, आई ऑफन टेक दैट नेम, हमारे को 3 वैल्यू बोला गया था कि आपको अगर एज अ कॉन्ट्रैक्टर हमारे साथ काम करना है तो 3 आपके पास होना चाहिए। वो इतनी सिंपल वैल्यू थी कि दैट आई अडॉप्टेड दैट वैल्यू सिस्टम फॉर माय कंपनी इटसेल्फ।
Hmm.
कहना, करना, निभाना।
Oh,
हम जो कहते हैं हम वो करते हैं और हम वो निभाते रहेंगे। And if that 3 things are there with you, now, whether you are in any business, you will do it. And you will always get people who will pull you down.
yeah.
Always. You have to trust yourself. hit back hard, having a persistent and relentless approach to solve any problem will definitely take you ahead in life. Will definitely take you ahead in life. You cannot say that अरे यार मेरे से नहीं हो रहा है. That option of नहीं हो रहा है ना, उसको तो बाहर ही निकाल दो. कुछ तो होगा ही. ठीक है ना?
So
जब हम
never say never, right?
never say never. ठीक है ना? So it is there, and always respect your clients. Always respect the business that you are in,
Hmm.
right? Whether that client is small or big, whether that vendor is small or big, सबसे, and to understand your company, to understand your business,
Hmm.
बिजनेस की नॉलेज होना बहुत जरूरी है. चाहे आप अपने हाथ से, मैं अपने हाथ से कोई प्लास्टर नहीं करती हूँ, पर उसका
Hmm.
नॉलेज मुझे बहुत है, राइट? तो टू
Yeah.
अंडरस्टैंड दैट बिजनेस, कनेक्ट टू दैट स्मॉलर लेवल इन योर कंपनी. जो सबसे छोटे से छोटा आदमी होगा ना, वो शायद आपको वो बताएगा जो एक हाई हाई पेड फ्लाइंग जॉब जो आपके ऑफिस में बैठा है ना, वो नहीं आपको बता पाएगा, right? To
Hmm.
connect to that, connect with each and every person in your company is really necessary as an entrepreneur. Or again, I don't want to play a women's card here, because I don't believe that any entrepreneur has the gender. We are beyond genders, but I would still take this platform, that take the opportunity on this platform and say that we need more women in
Hmm.
projects. हमारे पास architects हैं, but we need
Hmm.
more women in projects. We need to tell them that, you know uh, because this entire industry, this construction industry, this turnkey industry, it's very raw. It's
Hmm.
not empathetic at all. It's वो जैसा concrete, जैसा उसका नाम है ना, वही है उसका character, वही है. We need that. We need people like, we need women to fill that thing, that nurturing part.
Hmm.
That's
Absolutely. So women need to have some extra qualities because they are, I think that's imbibed. Don't take otherwise, Amar. so, so now,
I'm already feeling left
yeah.
out.
So connecting dots, taking care of the very minutest thing, I think that we have learned from, our childhood, and that's, I think, makes women a little more, I would say, different.
Yeah, very different, right? And the last point, that as a leader of any company, as an entrepreneur,
Hmm.
when the work has happened, अच्छा हुआ है काम, give credit to your team. खुद मत
Hmm.
बोलो यार मैंने ये अच्छा किया. नो, give credit to your team. और अगर काम गलत हुआ है, take the ownership, because when you will start taking the ownership of that work, the team itself will start taking the ownership of that work. Ownership सिखाई नहीं जाती है. It has to be led. And we
Undoubtedly.
need more ownership than high flying jobs, high flying people.
Agree, totally. So, Amar, the next question is for you. What trend do you foresee in the construction by 2030? And how do you plan to stay ahead of the curve to remain competitive in the market? Because as per the latest report that we have seen, I mean, the I would say the test paper, the kind for the construction companies say that 2030 is the a very flourishing for the construction industry. So how do you see this particular trend or the reports which are saying this?
Okay. So before joining, so I come more as a journalist. So my experience has been into different industries. I'm like a process and a tech person across different industries, right? So I don't see construction as my industry, but before I had joined this industry, right, I met somebody who is actually a developer in Jaipur. और उसने एक लाइन बोली तो मेरे को बड़ी अच्छी लगी. He said जब तक जयपुर जापान नहीं बन जाता, इस इंडस्ट्री में बहुत पैसा है,
Oh
बहुत काम
wow,
है. ठीक है.
क्या बात है.
So that's the, if you need to put any numbers, does not matter. We are a developing country. To become developed, it is going to, we have a lot of work to do, right?
आपको
And
कब लगता
I
है कि जापान कब बनेगा?
jaldi बनने वाला है. This
जल्दी
is a,
बने.
I can't put a number, but however, I'll see the credit we must give it to entrepreneurs.
Hmm.
Let's say I give you an example. Let's say किसी पास 100 करोड़ आ गए, right?
Hmm.
उसने बोला यार बहुत मेहनत कर ली, अब बैठ के आराम करते हैं. But that 100 crore guy, when he tries to aggregate some more land, tries to put together a mall or a big office complex, etc., what he's doing, and many of them then fail because some, you see some buildings half constructed.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're actually putting all their money, and maybe they have landed money, they've done a lot of stuff. They're putting all their money in stake again to build something, some bigger dream. Now,
Mm.
it may be easy for us to say, yeah, they are very greedy and they want to grow more and more and more. But the people like them who are putting up such big projects, right?
Mm.
Any kind of projects, right?
Mm.
Then whether it's school, colleges, hospitals, or right malls, anything, all kind of infrastructure that they are building to build, it is actually building the nation. The government's
Yeah.
work is to provide an environment that they can do that, right? But they
Right.
can't tell them to take risk with their money. If everybody today decides to put their money into the bank and just earn interest, nothing will succeed. So it's the entrepreneurs who are building this country. And till that time, we have that entrepreneurship in us. We have those
Mm.
people in us. And there is a huge opportunity. This
Mm.
industry is going to do much, much better, right? By 2030 specifically, the trends are, if you look at whether it is residential side or whether you talk about the retail spaces, because the retailtainment and the tourism and the offices and everything, the urbanization is increasing. Even in
Yeah.
villages, the urbanization. And
Yes.
uh,
Yes.
say when we were in Walmart, our first easy day stores, easy day Walmart came tied up with Bharti and decided that we'll open easy day stores in tier 2, tier 3 cities. And
Mm.
our the stores used to do really well in very, very small places. You
Mm.
would not have heard the name Patra and those kind of Sirsa and those kind of places, because for them Easy Day used to become like a mall, a shopping
Mm.
destination rather than just a normal grocery shop.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, because the urbanization is happening even in those interior towns, and even these brands, Starbucks going and opening in Kharad, right? Even though it's
Mm.
lying on the
Right.
highway, they're taking advantage of the highway, but still reaching those smaller towns, etc. So you can see the urbanization happening, and it's not only about multinational brands. Even Indian brands are doing really, really well. It's not about
Yeah.
that multinational brands are coming and doing all that. So I see the lot of thing happening towards residential side, because people see that how they need to build a comfort spaces for them, as well as on the commercial sides, because people, whether it is the construction, people putting plants, offices, warehouses, all of these with the kind of road network that is coming up, the accessibility is coming up. There is more and more such things are coming up. So there is a whole lot of I'm not putting any stats here, but I'm saying the industry is very, very bullish. How do we need to stay competitive? Is we need to There are three factors when we do a project: quality, cost, and time. Right? All the three that we need to meet. We need to deliver our projects in time with the quality, as you said, the quality that the customers expect, and be
Mm.
cost competitive on that. Right?
Yeah.
All of that is not possible till the time you put a strong processes in place.
Mm.
Right? So to build that kind of, we need to also, for example, if I'm delivering a site in, let's
Mm.
say, Punjab versus Chennai, right? Uh, 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 let's say a cafe versus a chemical plant in Chennai. The approach towards both of that should be the same. Right? Till the time we
Mm.
put those kind of processes, then only we can stay competitive. I'll cite here an example. While I was heading replenishment and planning for Walmart, and my for me it was important that for every SKU there is a apt amount of material in each of the stores. Let's say there are 3,000 SKUs or items that we need to keep in 250 stores. So 7,50,000 item store combination, you need to have just the right amount of inventory. If you have excess inventory, because they are small stores, they will get
Yeah.
blocked. If you have lesser
Yeah.
inventory, you will lose sales. Now,
Yeah.
when you need to do that, seven lakh fifty
Ah.
thousand, you just can't arbitrarily place order. You need to
Mm.
deliver by data, right?
Yeah.
And what do you deliver by data? Then for me, I used to
Mm.
say, for me, atta, a bag of atta and TV, they are same. For me, they are a item number. They have a rate of
Mm.
sale. They have a seasonality. So I
Mm.
need to convert all the emotions and the bullishness of a buyer or of the vendor or the customer sentiments or the festival coming in into numbers,
Wow.
right? So
Too much
the
work.
heart and the mind need to come together to deliver and sustain.
Wow.
Well,
That's
there's a lot of
so
number
much.
crunching
Is
happens.
that a secret sauce? Is that a secret sauce?
Yeah, the heart and mind need to come together.
Put together. Great, great. And how important is, in adopting a new technologies and innovation in the construction industry. I mean, because very unmanaged sector, a lot of blue collar employees. So, how do you think that can technology play a very vital role in managing these field people or your companies, and making it more profitable or maybe transparent for both the customers as well as the people sitting in the corporate office? So how do you see adopting a new technology, and is it the need of hour?
Question for heart or the mind?
I think both.
तुम जवाब दे दो. देन मैं बोल दूंगी अगर कुछ हुआ तो.
So, so of course, my answers are not going to be as interesting as hers. But see, for me, like a Atta and a TV, for me, all industries are same. I see them as numbers, right?
Hmm.
Now, so and hence technology for me is a process enabler,
Yeah.
right? For me, it is even important how in kitchen, if you're not monitoring your first expiry, first out,
Hmm.
and suppose you're taking a box of pulses and उसके ऊपर थोड़ा सा pulses बचा हुआ तो उसके ऊपर नया वाला डाल दिया, नीचे वाला is
Ah.
going to get expired. So if you're not doing first expiry, first out, which is like a very, very common in retail or warehousing, right? If you're not adopting that in kitchen, that process, you are end up not going to manage your kitchen well and health well, right? So for me, processes are a lifeline of everything.
Hmm.
Now, and technologies actually enable those processes.
Yeah.
If I put up a process and had there be not no ERP, no CRM, etc., let's say a customer care guys calls up and see you are on the recorded line, etc., right? And then say, okay, can I validate your CVV? Can I validate your date of birth, etc. at first? Because they have a set process, but the set process is not only what they remembered. The screen in front of them is prompting them. First ask this, then only that got authorized, then only they get the access to the data. So actually the technologies are validating and making the process scalable and sustainable, right? So
Right.
all I'm trying to say is it's not only about construction industry, it's true about any other industries. Yes, we might think about how it can happen in the construction industries, and uh, so I will say Anu and Abhishek have been visionary enough to think that okay, we have reached a scale, and now we need to go beyond this. We need to have a very, very process-oriented approach, and we need to have technology. While though when I came here, then so I think this little background on this thing, let it pass. So we are actually celebrating our birthday in Missouri, so not in office, so that's why we might have some disturbance. So
And
this is
I'm really
Mussoorie
sorry
Nagar.
for
This is Mussoorie
spoiling your
Nagar
holiday.
announcing on the road that saying no polythene and no
Oh,
littering around here. That's the announcement. So they keep on doing this announcement,
that's a good message.
right? Yeah, coming back. So in the technology front, we are putting our own project management tool.
Hmm.
So we have built our own project management tool and not taken anybody's else, because whatever project management tool I explored, I found no one is fitting the requirement, right?
Right. Ah.
So for me, like you guys on the tech side use all Jira and all other project management tool, we also need to have project management tool because we are in the project atmosphere. Like in Jira, everything is built up of tasks. You have a
Right.
task which are assigned to everything. We also have activities. We are actually built up a library of every construction activity,
Wow.
and each of this library has got a rate assigned,
Oh.
has got a manpower assigned, that okay, you need to do 100 square feet of flooring, you need that many man hours. So if we get a project of 1000 square feet, my manpower will get multiplied by 10 approximately, right? So similarly, materials for every activity, these are the materials required. Right now, if you have already a library of everything, you get a project,
Hmm.
you just add the activity, import the activities from that library. Your procurement list is ready. Your manpower requirement is ready. Your approximately time required for each activity is ready. There is a
Yeah.
dependency of each activity on the other activity, like in any project management tool. And you can see when each activity will start, when each activity will finish. And
Wow.
so I have a full project tool. And then top of that, I have a daily reports coming up from the site engineer. All he's doing is very, very simplified version, sliding which activity, how much I have fulfilled. This I have done 20%, this I have done 40%, 60%. And with all the, because I can't just make a project plan and assume that that's going to work out. Every day there are going to be changes. So the project plan needs to adapt, right? Because if the processes are not adaptive and they are very, very stringent, then they will become bureaucratic. Right?
Absolutely,
The
absolutely.
processes need to adapt with the changing demand.
Hmm.
So daily there is a feedback back from the site that okay, this particular task has reached this place, this particular task has reached this place. Accordingly, all the activities get recalculated every day to give you a new project plan and to tell you that my this site is now 3 days late because of
Hmm.
those so and so reasons. And then maybe if you want to reinforce more manpower or more material or reprioritize that particular so that we can get project back on track. Yeah.
So you
And I
have
did
a
not
work.
project management tool which could
Hmm.
rehash. I could figure out projects, uh, the tools which could give me a project plan, but I could not figure out tools the way I
Hmm.
wanted. They were able to rehash my plan, right? So hence we
Absolutely.
said we'll build our own tool.
Interesting. I mean, then it's just like click, 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 and the work done.
But the project has the many projects that we have uploaded on our tool, it has really helped us to see the correct picture of the sites, right?
Hmm.
If I'm approaching to the client and I'm saying कि मेरा project इतना हो गया है, vis-a-vis अगर मेरे पास data होगा, that is
Hmm.
that will give much confidence to my client than anything else,
Right.
right? And for any sector to be organized, you need planning, you need
Right.
process, right? And these two things will make your cycle, complete cycle, very transparent. आज की डेट में ये जितना अनऑर्गेनाइज है ना ये सेक्टर, उतना ही अविश्वास है. देयर इज लैक ऑफ ट्रस्ट. People will
Oh.
not trust you. They will ask, अच्छा
Hmm.
ये even after doing filling up the tenders and everything, the price is there, the cost is there in the market, still they will feel that the contractor is up to something, right?
Hmm.
So to achieve that, we need the planning and processes in place so that the
Hmm.
transparency is established in our system. And that's what came after continuously talking to a client, and then continuously talking to him that what can be done, if we all can come together and things can be done. I have
Right.
to make him believe that your place is required,
Right.
your expertise are required in this. मैं कहा तू आटे को ईंटों से बदल दे, पर प्रोसेस को लेके आ जाओ.
That's interesting. Great. So, you know, इसी बात को आगे एक्सटेंड करते हुए, like monitoring, client को भी ये inform करना that काम हो रहा है. You have on the papers, you have tools to manage. Then you have, I mean, for the last, I mean, more than 2 quarters, you're using our application, M-Fly Attendance Manager app. So how does it help you to achieve that transparency, and does it help you to manage your different sites on different roster planning? So just a few words.
Definitely. So as I told you, I looked through a lot of project management tool to find out that I could not find any, and I had to build my own. I looked through a lot of manpower management tool, but then luckily I found yours, and I need not to build my own.
Thank you.
So if you look at in the project, the one of the most important aspect is to manage manpower, right?
Yes.
Is the biggest one. And we have three kinds of manpower. We
Yeah.
have our employees, and
Hmm.
employees also, then there are multiple kinds, some who go to the site, some who have got a fixed site, some
Hmm.
who are like skilled workers and they go different site, 2 days in this site, 3 days in different sites. Some people who
Yeah.
are based out of the office, some people who are based out in factory, we have furniture factory, some people who are based out there. So different kind of so hence you need different kind of settings to monitor and manage them. Apart
Right.
from the employees, then we have our subcontractors who have their own manpower. And
Hmm.
then we have the daily labor that you employ from labor chunks or here, there, etc. Right? Now, these three, you need to track all three of them. Just tracking one of them is not going to solve the purpose. And then
Right.
when I was looking at the some of these tools, that was my idea. That's how I can. What is there a tool which has got these different settings, etc., which can enable me to do all of that? And hence we figure out your tool actually helps us to do all of that, because it's so, I will say, built ground up, and this there are a lot of settings so that we can manage the modules. And I won't say that is only valid for construction industry. Like, I am again a journalist, right? So it fits all industries equally well, because the building blocks are really done nicely.
Hmm.
I can, for example, that what I love is, so of course, the basic thing there is that the face matching and location matching. If I have employed a person that, okay, he's need to be at this place by this time, right?
Hmm.
And if I have, so I have a shift timing, I have a location, and I have an employee. Now it does all the three matching for me to just tell me an exception reporting. Okay, out of your 70 is 68 has reached, these two are the exceptions. So all I need to do is call those two exceptions and figure it out that where are they, right? But you know that by getting those ting 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 exception reports every morning, you know, okay, all people have reached, or all
Right.
of the, only these are the exceptions, right? So those settings are there. So, and with that, had there been no face matching versus location matching versus timing matching, all three would have not have been there, right? The process would not have been foolproof for me to rely on that, right?
Also, it has made our job easy while computing the salary, because if they are not on employee, if they don't mark
Hmm.
their attendance, or whether
Hmm.
we have to record the leave or something, we know how many attendance they have done. And I also at times क्या होता है कि ये लोग छुट्टी ले लेते हैं, but they forget that they have taken so many holidays, right?
Yeah, yeah, it do
Then
happen.
they, yeah, why did you did not pay me this time for the leave, this, that, and also, because of the record, we tell them that these many earned leaves were there, and you have taken beyond that, so it is easy for us to make them understand. Okay.
Hmm.
And also, I would say that adopting a technology for founders, वो
Hmm.
अच्छा बहुत लगता है सुनने में, but it's not easy.
Right.
ठीक है. To A, I need to be sync with that.
Right.
ठीक है. B, I need to bring my entire manpower on that,
Hmm.
because you have every kind of people. Some people will say कि आप हम पे trust नहीं करते कि हम site पे जा रहे हैं.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This happens to
You need
every
to
customer that
please
you
come.
know.
And these are very genuine issues that we have faced. All our employees who've been there with us from the starting of the company, they will come back to us and they say, मैम आपसे एक बात करनी है कि आप हम पे विश्वास नहीं करते, हम चाहते हैं, हम जी जान से मेहनत करते हैं, हम वहाँ पे हैं, हम यहाँ पे हैं, and all those things, right? Those are those emotional things that we also have to deal with it, right?
Hmm.
बहुत मुश्किल लगी हम लोगों को उनको समझाने में, but then we were there. I said, no, we have to have this in place. ये सबके भले के लिए है. We have to make them believe that. And I think now, by and large, everybody is with us on this platform, but it was difficult for new people joining it. It is easy, but for those
Hmm.
old people,
Hmm. A lot of
so
stop would be coming from the
because
existing.
आप कोई भी आप change लेके आओगे, तो there would be people who would be with the change.
Replace
There
it.
would be people you will show resistance. So that
Yeah.
resistance was there,
Hmm.
and to deal with the emotional resistance बहुत मुश्किल होता है.
Right, I think we need to tell our new customers also, like, we have already shared this link to the people who have just onboarded, and
Hmm.
the same problem they are facing, while because there are old employees who are working for them for the last 5 or 10 years, and there's the same, the same problem. They said that, I think after adopting the technology, my manpower is leaving my company. So what
It
you would
will
like to say
happen.
to those people?
बट दिस इज अ क्लियर कट थिंग दैट वो क्यों छोड़ के जा रहे हैं, वो इसलिए छोड़ के जा रहे हैं क्योंकि शायद उन्हीं में कमी है, राइट? दे डोंट वांट टू बी ट्रैक्ड, but धीरे
Right.
धीरे आई एम श्योर दैट all the construction or all the industries would come on this thing, because everyone wants their manpower to be tracked. हम बार बार बैठ के फोन थोड़ी ना करेंगे, तो पता चला मुझे एक एम्प्लॉई रखना पड़ रहा है टीम का कि भैया पता करो कि ये किधर है, ये किधर है. एंड स्पेशली फॉर अस इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट. इट बिकम्स डिफिकल्ट बिकॉज वी आर पैन इंडिया. Correct.
Hmm.
We have 20-25 sites running at one given point. One site is in Bhilwara, the second site is in Khanna, the third site is somewhere in Kochi. I would not sit and see, right? So
Hmm.
that your product has really helped us, like big time. तो जो छोड़ के गए कोई बात नहीं, हमारे भी छोड़ के गए हैं, उनका कोई बात नहीं.
Thank you so much. I mean, and in the scale of 1 to 10, how much rating I can expect for this particular product?
Yes, the math number.
How could I forget that?
So I will say I will rate it somewhere about 8,
Okay.
right? So there is always things that we can develop,
Hmm.
but
Yeah,
there are a lot of
absolutely.
other thing. So for example, I'll say subcontract.
Yeah.
Um, our subcontractors, they were sending people, right?
Hmm.
Okay, I earlier was counting, okay, as in the daily report from the site engineer, that okay, 4 people came from this person. But now with mfly, what makes me important is the same 4 people are coming or not. Because if on a
Yeah,
site, if the same guy is not coming again and again, it is going to impact the quality of the work and even the
absolutely.
productivity at the work, right?
Right,
So
right.
some of those features are really, really, really good for all kinds. Similarly for labor,
Hmm.
the labor, there used to be a lot of I'll say there is a lot of leakage when it comes to the paying up for labor, etc. Now,
Hmm.
if at the same time putting your kiosk function, if I'm able to enroll these laborers again and again at the without
Hmm.
somebody need to send the data to HO, etc., which is possible now, and
Hmm.
with that, my labor problem also gets solved.
Right.
Okay? So with all
Hmm.
that, I still give it 8 on 10 because
Yeah,
I will
there is
still
this.
you will still develop more and more functions for us, and we are even able to. You also put I will say payroll management, lead management, all that we should
Yeah,
put in
Yeah,
as
recording of leave and
right.
everything, you know.
Yeah, we are on it. So,
well.
this is, thank you so much for, and the last question, I know I have taken a lot of your time. So the last question, with a growing focus on the sustainability, I mean, government is also taking a lot of care in with eco-friendly practices. So how does your company incorporating with environmental conscious approach in the construction projects?
Um, See, I'm honest here. ये इको फ्रेंडली सस्टेनेबल ये सारे वर्ड सुनने में बहुत अच्छे लगते हैं बट दे वेरी एक्सपेंसिव टू ऑल द एंटरप्रेन्योर्स अराउंड द वर्ल्ड आई वुड से कि ये एक्सपेंसिव चीज़ है हम लोग ऑर्गेनिक खाना भी जब लेके आते हैं तो एक्सपेंसिव ही होता है ना
Absolutely.
organic dal versus the normal dal that you get, right? So
Right.
A, it's expensive. It is becoming, and it is expensive because not many people are using it. One
Hmm.
of the reason is that if the usage becomes more and more, the cost will definitely come down, right? So we have to be open to the idea of sustainable,
Hmm.
sustainability and everything. So where in our construction industry where can you establish the sustainable practice is your material usage, primarily your material usage, right?
Hmm.
Using instead of using more of red bricks, using more of eco-friendly paints, right? अभी जो
Yeah.
आपका पेंट जो भी मार्केट में पेंट आ रहा है, any brands that are bringing up, it's more synthetic, it is carcinogenic, right? So but अगर आप eco-friendly paints की तरफ जाएंगे, so maybe they're very expensive but then they are healthy. Okay. Now, and a lot of wood materials and everything. Or even in the cement industry, there's a lot of things that are happening that apart from cement, what else we can use? Because cement again makes it very hot, right? The usage of that. So, other, so there's a lot that are happening in the material industry. We have to be open to the idea and let's see how much we can use it. Having said that, in construction industry when we particularly talk about our industry that is turnkey, the fit out period is it lasts from for 3 to 5 years only.
Hmm.
So in such an industry because एक स्टोर का शेल्फ लाइफ इज 3 to 5 years ओनली वो फिर बाद में रीब्रांडिंग करना पड़ता है या उसको ठीक करवाना पड़ता है या कुछ बहुत कुछ होता रहता है बिकॉज एवरी टाइम अ कंपनी कैन नॉट एस्टैब्लिश अ न्यू स्टोर राइट तो
Right.
वहां पे आप सस्टेनेबल कैसे हो सकते हो वो उसको भी सोचना बहुत जरूरी है so again such materials where the shelf life is only for 3 to 5 years is very it's not that cost effective. So
Absolutely. So,
there's a lot of research that is going on, and we have to be open to that research. We have to make the client well aware of such practices so that we can use it. अगर हम ही नहीं बोलेंगे तो client को
hmm.
थोड़ी ना पता चलेगा कि क्या करना
Absolutely. There's no voice anyway. I mean, like, unlike you who are expert in the field and you're doing marvelous, I think Amar being a journalist, he would definitely find something, you know. roaming around the world and finding a sustainable element, and you being pitching to the clients and converting them. Thank you so much. As we bring this enlightenment conversation to the end, we extend our sincere gratitude to Amar and Anu for sharing their invaluable insight and experiences with us. Your journey, expertise, dedication, and truly inspiring. We are really honored to have you with us and to learn from the opportunity. The wealth and the knowledge you have provided to us is undoubtedly the resonate with our audience and serve as a source of motivation and aspiration for a lot of people who are listening to us and would listen to us in the future. Your stories remind us with a determination, you have innovation, you have passion for the growth, and one can overcome the challenge and make a lasting impact with the things that you have done so far, selling your house, doing job day and night, moving from the extreme of the north to the extreme of the south to make your dream come true. We look forward to witnessing this continuous success to Wise's construction, famously known as Chabi, under the leadership of both Hugh and, of course, the missing founder that we have right now. Your
Abhishek
dynamic
Soni.
partner, yeah, Abhishek Soniji. So your dynamic partnership is a testament to the power of and the collaboration of your shared vision. Once again, thank you for your presence and insight. We wish you both, a very, very successful future ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, Basra, and thanks Mflight for supporting us in our vision, right? To be able to do what we want to do, build a process-oriented, sustainable team. And we would want that you continue to raise more and more functionality for us. And specifically, yeah, being a journalist is important, but sometimes we need to think industry specific so we can collaborate and think more industry specific solutions as well and build upon this journalist approach, etc. And let's keep working together. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.